Hey guys, it's Brianna here. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. Today I am super excited, and also I didn't realize, I'm sure you all just heard the truck, so I apologize for that. Anyway, I am so excited to be bringing you my, I guess, November book haul. I have gotten quite a few books recently. Some of them I have bought, some of them I've been sent. So let's just go ahead and get started because I really don't want this video to be way too long. So I will divide it up by the books that I have purchased and then the ones that I was sent. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the ones that I have been sent. I just have a stack of 3 books, but I am super excited about all 3 of them. They are pretty high on my TBR list, so let's just go ahead and jump right into them. So the first book that I got is Jay Crownover's newest release called Blacklisted. I absolutely adore Jay Crownover. I have met her in person at least twice, I think, but she is so awesome. I adore her Marked Men series. It's this series about all of these kind of like the bad boy persona. Some of them are in the military or ex-military. It's just such a good series. More kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, to be honest, but it's seriously such a good series. I know that's horrible. Anyway, I'm super excited about this one. I've already put a loan on the audiobook through the Brooklyn Public Library, but of course there's a huge long wait. At the time, last time I checked, it was like over a 6-month wait, and I was like, well, that's great. So 2021 is when I'm going to be able to listen to it. But then I checked it again and I saw that it dropped down like significantly, down to like maybe just a couple weeks or something. So hopefully I'll get the audiobook soon, but I am super excited about this book because look at all this goodness, like, duh. Next up I have one of the most sweetest authors of all time. I have Daphne Perry's newest release in the 10 Gypsies series, and this is Noble Prince. This is book 4 in the series, I believe. Also, are y'all surprised that I haven't started this series yet? Even though it's an MC series, which y'all know. If you're new to my channel, then you don't know, but now everybody knows. MC is one of my all-time favorite tropes to read about, and MC stands for Motorcycle Club, if you didn't know, not main character. That can sometimes get confusing, but no, I mean motorcycle clubs. So, why haven't I read this? I don't know. Story of my life, to be honest, but legit, I'm not kidding. Daphne Perry has the best covers of all time. Just gonna say that. This whole series, all these covers, they're beautiful. I already know I'm gonna love it because I absolutely adore her Jameson Valley series, which is like a romantic suspense kind of series. I don't know, that's hard to explain. I guess I would categorize it as kind of like a romantic suspense because it's got suspense elements to it, but it's so good. And then the last book that I was sent is actually an art copy, and I about flipped out. So it's Taryn Fisher's upcoming release called The Wrong Family. This comes out December 29th, and this is a thriller, which y'all know. If you don't know, I'll put it in the cards, but I recently got into thrillers in the month of October, so that's been a really fun journey, and I do look forward to this. I know she does have another thriller. I think she actually has a couple, to be honest. I can't remember what her most recent release was off the top of my head. I don't know, but anyway, super excited about this. I think this is more of like a domestic thriller, I believe. I don't know. I'm just very curious because, to be honest, I don't think I've read any of her books by herself, because I have read the Never Never trilogy series, novella series that she wrote with Colleen Hoover a couple years ago, and I really enjoyed that. I can't remember if I finished it, to be honest. I know I read the first 2. Wouldn't surprise me if I didn't read part 3 because... Yep, that's all I got. Y'all, I don't know why I'm like this. I say this every year as part of my yearly goals, and every year it just gets worse. My goal every year, at least for the past 2 years, has been to knock out over half, if not a third, that would be great, of over 100 unfinished series. I just keep adding to it. Maybe 2021 will be the year. Probably not, knowing me. Anyway, let's move on to the next stack of books that I have. Also, side note, because my room is right on like the front of the house, I just saw somebody go around on a moped. A bright red moped. I don't know why. It's not like they were flying past the street. It was just really funny to see them cruising by the street on a bright red moped. That was awesome. Okay, anyway, I am very squirrely today. I don't know why. Maybe because of my impatience for my camera battery. I don't know. I have my Fairy Loot in my Owl Crate recent books. So I am a, I guess, recent subscriber to both of the boxes. I have been wanting to join the subscriptions for a long time now. So this is the most recent books in the boxes. So I will go ahead and talk about Owl Crate first because I did get it a couple weeks ago. I believe that this was the, because now I'm getting all the boxes confused. I believe that this was the October box because I think Owl Crate is on time and I think it's Fairy Loot that fell behind a little bit, I think. Or maybe this is the November. Anyway, the most recent one in Owl Crate is The Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. And this is obviously a YA, I think it's like a mystery fantasy type book. I have been very curious to check out her books. I really want to read Stalking Jack the Ripper. It's that whole series. I don't remember if there's like a series name to it. I don't know. Anyway, this edition is absolutely stunning. Oh my god, I can't. The art print on the dust jacket is literally everything. This is probably like one of my favorite things about these boxes is the exclusive dust jackets and how they decorate it. Also, I didn't know this the first time. There is art on the book itself. What? Y'all, how did I not notice this? That is some beautifulness right there. That's all I got. Oh, y'all, I can't. Next from the Owl, or not the Owl Crate, I just said that, the Fairy Loot box is Among the Beasts and the Briars by Ashley Poston. I have never heard of this author. So I can't remember if this is a debut book or I don't know. I'm super excited about this book. I am glad I got this edition because I actually prefer this one to the original, which I think is more of like a white. Yeah. So I don't know if you can see, but this is the original cover. So it's basically just switched. So the edition I got is black and the original edition is white. So I'm glad I got the black one because I like it better, but we'll see what I think about it. So next up is all the books that I have purchased myself. I went to Half Price Books a couple days ago. At the time that y'all are seeing this is well past Friday and everything. I also went to the dollar store just because I needed to get a couple things for my classroom. And I always just try and check the book section even though they really never have anything. And I was actually pleasantly surprised to actually find this book. This is The Matchmaker's List by Sonia Lawley. I have seen a lot of people haul this book. I just really haven't heard anybody talk about it. I got it for $1, so why not? I'm curious to see how this book is going to go. Truly, I know nothing about it. I have seen people haul this book, so I picked it up. So that's really all I needed. So we'll see how it goes. And then let's get into my books that I've gotten from Half Price Books. Oh, and then before I forget, I will also show you guys the 3 books that I got from Book of the Month, now that I remember. So I'll show you those after. But first up, I got a historical romance, and I got The Virgin and the Rogue by Sophie Jordan. So here is the cover. I have heard so many good things about her books. I don't think I've read any of hers yet, to be honest. But I totally took a chance on this book because honestly at this point I don't know what historicals I own. I definitely do not have the collections of like Jessica from Peace Love Books and Lacey from Lacey Book Lovers and Samantha from Books and Samantha. All these amazing channels that have been doing these historical lots. I have been holding off from purchasing historical romances, mostly because I have a floating bookshelf above my bed that I have turned into a rainbow historical romance stack, and I'm terrified to add any more books because the books that I had up there previously were all of my, you know, like favorite YA books, and obviously those books are heavy. So it kind of started tilting forward, and my fear, not that I sleep on that side of the bed, but my fear is that thing's gonna come crashing down. So that's my biggest reason why I have not ordered any historical romances. And I say that and watch. Now that I've had a week off from school and just the stress of this year, I will be buying more. So I say that, but watch. Next up, I got the most epic cover. I live for these covers. Also, now there's a plane flying by. I'll just wait. Literally, any little sound today is happening. So I apologize for that. Anyway, I found this book. This is Virgin Star by Jennifer Horsman. Y'all, legit, look at that beautifulness. This was published in 1993, so this came out a year before I was born, and what sold me was this really pretty pastel pink spine, and it has like the couple on the spine. This is beautiful. I know nothing about it. I bought it. The cover is epic. I'm here for it. I bought it. I don't know anything about it. I've never heard anybody haul this book. I have no idea if this author is even worth trying out, but I got it. I think it was like $1, so why could I not leave it there? Okay, so the next few books, 3 of the 4 books are books that I have read, which was really, really awesome to do, because I've been trying really hard to only buy books that I know I'm going to read pretty soon, or books that I have read. So the first book that I found literally when I was at Half Price Books was Friday Night Bites. This is by Chloe Neal. I read this last year around Halloween, I think. This is a vampire series based in Chicago. I absolutely loved it. I did read book 2 earlier this year, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I did this book. I feel like it suffered from what we call that second book syndrome, where it just wasn't as good, but I really am loving this series as a whole. Obviously, I haven't continued because story of my life, but it's vampires based in Chicago. There you go. That's all I need. Next up, I got a thriller. I went on a binge of reading a bunch of thrillers, and although, you know, I got a pretty good feel for the genre, I had kind of put it on the back burner for this time because I have the books that I've been wanting to read, like in terms of romance, and then I want to move into my holiday stack, but hopefully I'll continue to read some here and there. But I have found the Book of the Month edition for No Exit by Taylor Adams. I have heard amazing things about this book. It sounds super interesting. This one's going to be interesting because literally all it says on the back is 13 hours, 4 strangers, 1 missing child, no exit. She knows her odds and she'll fight anyway. But like I said, I have heard nothing but amazing things about this book, so I am super excited to read it, hopefully soon. Next up, I got another Book of the Month edition, and this book and then the previous one are some of my all-time favorite books, and I don't know why, but I haven't purchased copies of them. I did both the audiobooks of them, and I finally got one of them, and it's The Bride Test by Helen Huang. Y'all, if you have no idea what this book is, or the first book, which is The Kiss Quotient, you are truly missing out on some pretty amazing content, because the the diversity and just the representation is absolutely fantastic. I adored this book as well. It's hard to say which one is my favorite from the two, to be honest. They're both just truly amazing books that I feel like everybody needs to read if you're a fan of romance. They're just so good. And then next up from Half Price Books, the last book that I got is another one of my favorite series that I binged this summer. I can't remember when, to be honest, because this entire year has blended together at this point, because that's 2020. I have book 3 in the Red Queen series. I guess that's the name of the series. This is King's Cage. So like I said, this is a 4-book series with a couple novellas in between. My recommendation is, if you would like to read this series, I recommend binging them. I'm even surprised that I even finished this series, but I highly recommend that you binge these, because if you wait too long like I did, not that I waited a whole lot of time, but it was enough that I started to lose, important pieces of the storyline. So it kind of took away from my overall enjoyment, because this is just one of those that once you start the next book, it hits the ground running. So you kind of have to have all that information like fresh on your mind to truly, follow the storyline. And plus, obviously, this is a fantasy series. It's a super good series. Highly recommend if you're a fan of young adult and all that, but it is a super good series. I hate trying to take my books off of the middle part of the cart because they always get so damaged. I hate it. I gotta figure out a different system for putting them in the cart like this, but it is what it is. Anyway, so I finally became a member of Book of the Month, which I know this is going to be dangerous for my credit card, because I have now created myself another beast in terms of buying books. I joined for November. Literally, I went that day in the morning, made my selection. I was like, how do I even pick? Because they picked some really good books. So I am super excited. I picked 3 I think these are all the November books, but I am super excited about them. The first book that I got is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong, and this is pitched as a young adult Romeo and Juliet retelling, I think based in Shanghai. I apologize, not Korea. But I just thought that this would be super interesting, because obviously I love Romeo and Juliet, but it's also based in Shanghai. So I think that would be kind of a fun element to the story. I'm curious to see how this book goes. I know a lot of people are super excited about this book. I don't think I've heard any reviews just yet, but I'm curious to see what I'm going to think about it. And then the next book I got is This Time Next Year by Sophie Cousins. This is obviously pitched as a romance. I have heard a lot of people say that the romance books that they do choose lean more towards woman fiction. So I'm kind of keeping that in the back of my mind. But I've remembered that when I was reading kind of like the quick little blurbs that they give you, I think it's our hero is kind of one of those rich, men, and it is set in the early 90s, which will be kind of fun, obviously based in New York. I can't remember what else was said about this book. I really cannot remember. I am completely blanking. But again, I haven't heard anybody talk about it just yet. I don't know if anybody's gotten a chance to read it, but I am kind of keeping in the back of my mind that this will probably lean more towards a woman's fiction kind of feel and not so much the romance. But regardless, it does sound like a good book, so I'm curious to see what I will think about it. And then the last book that I got from Book of the Month, as well as my very last book for this haul, is going to be the thriller for the November selection, which is Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane. So I'm super excited about this one. I just feel like these types of books where it involves a marriage, it's always about the wife. So I'm curious to see how this one goes. I think that this is a early release. I can't remember when it's supposed to release. I don't think it says on the book. No, it does not. And I believe that this is also a debut author. So that's super exciting to not only get a early copy of it, but also it's a debut thriller author. So I am super excited about this one. Obviously it's a thriller. I think it's more of like a domestic thriller. We have a dead husband, so super excited about that. Anyway, so those are all the books that I've gotten recently in the month of November, kind of end of October. Truly, and I say this, I think everybody in the book community says this may be my last haul for a while. I say that, and I'll have a haul next week. I don't know. I don't intend on buying any more books because if you don't know, I have gotten back into the planner community and decorating, you know, my planner and everything. That has been something that I've been wanting to get back into for a long time, just because at the time when I did, you know, move into towards the planner community, I was still in college and could not afford to keep up with everything. But now that I actually have a real job now, which is great, I can actually have a hobby like that. And obviously I'm still single. I will be moving out hopefully early next year, but I still live at home. I may or may not have another haul by the end of the year. We'll see. I did ask for a couple of books for my Christmas list, I guess, from my best friends. We'll see. I don't intend on buying any more books. Obviously, I'll have the December books for Book of the Month and then book subscription books, but I will do separate videos for those if y'all want to see those. If y'all enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you guys would like to subscribe to my channel, please make sure you turn on the push notifications. All of my social media links are in the description, but I will see y'all in my next video. Bye y'all.